Hi, everybody. This is Ken Wilson. Once upon a time, I broadcast blues hockey. I always listen to Let's Go Blues Radio. It's everything you'll want as a blues fan. Oh, baby.
Are you a first responder, a veteran, a doctor, a nurse, a teacher, or a Let's Go Blues Radio listener? Of course you are. If you're in the market to buy or sell a home, call real estate superstar Mike Burgoyne today at 314-753-4060 or email him at mike@strikewithmike.com to earn special rates today.
Cut out the coffee, cut out those energy drinks that make you crash, and put yourself in a position to succeed with an energy boost from RockinThatIDLife.com. You'll be energized, focused, and you'll even experience an elevated mood for up to 6 hours. Check out RockinThatIDLife.com to learn more.
Get ready to hear some noise tonight. You're just seconds away from Let's Go Blues Radio.
The Blues score! Oh, baby! The Blues score! McKinnon shoots and scores! Portnoy ahead to Hall. He's got a breakaway. Safety shoots. He scores!
Oh, baby, do you believe it?
Scores in a drive. He scores!
Baby, Chris Pronger. Wow, what great goaltending. The Twister. Jacob hits the hit. Sellout crowd. Oh, baby.
Let's show this prehistoric bitch how we do things downtown.
Welcome to episode 22 of season 14. This is episode number 503, all-time of the often imitated, never duplicated. Do you know who I am? I'm the Juggernaut, bitch! We're the original St. Louis Blues hockey podcast, Let's Go Blues Radio. Check out the Let's Go Blues Minute wherever you get podcasts. It provides you with a daily look into the St. Louis Blues in a quick-hit fashion. Smash that subscribe button. It's Wednesday, February 26th, and we're streaming live to the masses. Make sure to follow us on socials at LGB Radio and like, follow, and subscribe to us on YouTube and Facebook. I'm your host, Jeff Ponder, and I'm joined by Bill Day and Kirk Price. The agenda for tonight's show includes the Blues coming out of the Four Nations face-off hot, Zach Bolduc having himself a big night, Jordan Binnington killing it as of late, and more on this birthday-rific episode of Let's Go Blues Radio. Now, Blues fans are probably saying to themselves, I'm talking about Zach Bolduc, who had himself quite the game last night with 2 goals on his, I think it was the day after his birthday. But yesterday was actually our very own Bill Day's birthday. So a belated happy birthday to our friend Bill Day.
Happy B-Day, B-Day.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
I'm sure you've never heard that one before.
Surprisingly, it doesn't get used a lot.
There you go. There you go.
I've
right.
taken to signing birthday cards for people at work when we do that kind of thing, which is rare these days. Just happy B-Day, B-Day.
Do you know what I do when I sign birthday cards at work? I sign it with an obscure 80s song lyric and then my name. That's all I do. And
Nice.
it's funny. It's different. But I think that really, I think Jeff is extremely jealous. Not Ponder, but my cousin Jeff at work. He's like, oh, man, I wish I would have thought of that. And every time I do it.
What's one of your best ones?
He's a little jealous. Oh, God, I don't know. I haven't done it since COVID because we really not in the office like we used to be.
Right.
You know, but it's just enough. It doesn't have to be funny. It's just like an obscure 80s lyric. And there's so many ridiculous, we got the beat, Kurt Price.
There you go.
Whatever.
I like that.
It's just
good work.
Whatever. It's like, what? We get the beat. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Ken Morris in our chat says, belated happy birthday, Bill. All the very best to one of the best. Yes, Bill. Last year of your 40s.
Yes, it is.
Woo.
Pretty soon, I'm going to be old and dead like Kurt.
Yeah.
I'm dead inside. You will feel dead inside in about a year.
Oh, I'm already there.
So wait a minute.
The last
so does that mean
6 weeks is assured that.
Right now on this show, we have someone in their 50s, 40s, and 30s, right?
Mm-hmm.
That will not be the case when April hits, because I will be turning 40. So
we've kind of got the decades covered. Then that's another reason to respect the analysis of this show is because we've got a little bit from each era, right? So we're spread out a
I
little
thought you
bit.
were going to say why you should respect your elders, and I was like, God, that's the oldest thing you've ever said, Kurt.
You should respect your elders.
True.
Especially these little shit balls running around here. These little 20-something and 30-somethings think they rule the world. You haven't seen
They
shit.
know.
You haven't seen shit.
They know. Yeah. Lots going on in the past week in Blues Nation. But first thing I want to address, I know that this is what everybody's been waiting to hear. When I'll be back on the Puck podcast. I know that's what everybody's talking about.
That's why I
will
couldn't
be
sleep
back.
last night.
That was
Exactly.
on 60 Minutes on Sunday. They were talking about
When
that.
will Jeff be back?
Yeah,
That's what everybody wants.
They don't know where he's at. It's like he's in hiding.
Yeah. So I will be co-hosting the Puck podcast again for the next 2 weeks, as Doug Stolhand is traveling with his wife, not for work. So
Girlfriend, maybe?
very exciting, huh?
Or his girlfriend.
Well, hopefully not.
Yeah,
I
you
know
keep
his wife. She's a lovely lady.
Keep the girlfriend at home. Just take the wife.
Yeah. But anyway, no. So I believe we're recording next week's episode on Sunday, so it'll be released Monday, and then I think it'll be the same for the following week. So anyone who's interested in hearing a blues guy on a national podcast about hockey, look no further. Here we go.
What time does Andy Strickland show up?
Oh, Andy's too highbrow for that show.
Does he ever? I mean, I wear a hat all the time on the show, but he's a hat guy on his podcast. He never doesn't wear a hat.
Yep, that's true. Yeah, him and Cam, I think every now and then has fixed his hair. He's typically a hat guy too.
Well, they're both kind of thinning on the top of the heads, right? They don't have a lot of hair up there, so they're kind of.
Not everyone can have a great head of hair like this show.
I'm saying, right?
It's
I
true.
should show it off more on the show, but I don't.
Say that's the reason I show it off, because like my friends get mad at me when I wear hats. They're like, "Dude, you have great hair. Why are you wearing a hat?" And I'm like, "Because hats are awesome. They're comfortable."
I tell my daughter you're welcome all the time because she inherited my hair and she has
There you go.
thicker, bigger hair. It's like she's the envy of some of her girlfriends for having the hair she does.
Ken Morris making fun of us for being old, says the 100-year-old up in Nova Scotia.
I literally got a AARP thing in the mail again the other day.
Oh boy!
I'm
just giving you trouble.
when I don't even. When are you allowed to sign up for
50.
AARP? Is it 50?
It's 50. Yeah.
I should. Do I get free shit if I sign up? Why wouldn't I sign up? Does it cost money?
See what happens.
So you have to go to restaurants at 4:15 and call it supper.
Yes.
And I can tip less. So that's or at all. I don't have to tip at all
if you enjoy spit in your food. Yes, you can.
Well, and I would have to start getting a half sandwich and soup.
Right.
Yes,
quite often.
That's true.
Right.
But Ken Morris's joke that started all this was start filling out your Social Security forms. Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
That's
going to matter.
Not going to exist by the time we get there.
Man, I've been paying it. Well, actually, being a state employee, I don't pay into it. So, but I did pay into it for a while before I became a state employee. So I got something in there. I want some of it back. All these folks that paid into it for what? Not very long, and they're living longer now, and so they're drawing out way more than their fair share they put into it. So they're getting all their money. I want at least what I put into it.
Well, sign up for AARP. That's the first step.
Yep, they'll lobby for you.
There you go. Yep.
I mean, as long as it doesn't cost anything, why not?
Yep. And first of all, I do want to apologize to everyone as I am getting over a ridiculous illness. I have no idea what it was. I thought it was COVID again. I'm like, oh great, I'm a 4-timers member now. But I took 2 different tests and they both came back negative.
Herpes?
Yeah, it's been maybe. That's beside the point though, Kurt. I don't know why you need to tell everybody about my personal business.
It says in the notes here, Jeff, herpes. I don't know. I'm just reading what's on the thing.
Damn it, why did I put that? Shit. Okay, we'll ignore that. So yeah, I do apologize if I sound a little hoarse. Little Sorry, thinking of an old man joke. Speaking of old man,
don't. No,
I'm a little hoarse.
No.
But yeah. So, and if I cough, I'm trying to make sure I hit the mute button, but I do apologize.
You can't claim old man status on this show.
No, you're right. I can't. I'm the young one. I'm the young
You're
whippersnapper.
the whippersnapper. Yeah, you're the little shithead on this show.
I am. You're right. 100%. Let's get into official beers of episode number 503. You can follow each of us on the Untapped app. I am at jponder94. Kurt is cprice12, and Bill is Billy Blue Note 33. I will lead us off. So again, as I'm getting over an illness, I am not drinking beer tonight. I'm drinking some hydrate, from our friends at Kraken and ID Life. So wonderful stuff. It's the lemon lime, and for those of you, I know that they don't like to associate themselves with Gatorade, but this lemon lime, if you like lemon lime Gatorade, you will love the lemon lime hydrate. It's basically the exact same thing with less sugar. It's fantastic. RocketNetIDLife.com. Let's go on to Kurt.
I had early this evening. I had a Blue Moon, but I am enjoying a Looted Art from Modern Brewery. It is a bourbon barrel aged. It says bourbon barrel aged plus vanilla. I assume it's a stout. It's an ale.
Sounds like a stout.
Sounds like a stout, but yeah, no, it's 12%. It's good. I took a sip and it's quite very tasty. Modern Brewery, Looted Art.
Modern. Okay.
Modern, yeah.
Yeah, I need to. We passed by that again the other day, and my wife and I say every time we pass it, why have we not had a date night out there? Because it looks like such a cool spot. So
yeah,
we'll have to do that. Have you guys ever hung out at Modern before?
No, I haven't.
I've been there. We went there before a concert a couple years ago. It was good. The beers,
like a cool spot.
All the beer that they had was really good, and the food was pretty damn good. But
I've had a couple beers recently in here. The one was the chocolate milk stout, like the Prairie Farms looking label. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So and that was really good. So I've had a few beers from there, and each one I've had has been good. So give them a try.
All right, Bill, what you got tonight?
all right, so for I think that only the second time ever, I am not drinking a beer or anything alcoholic.
Second
on
time ever.
On this show.
Second time ever of any evening since I was a child.
Pretty much. Definitely this year. I have Cherry 7-Up. My favorite,
Shirley Temple, huh?
Stomach's not feeling great, need something, but don't want just Sprite or 7-Up. Cherry 7-Up. It's the way to go.
That sounded like a commercial. That was perfect.
You ever do the homemade, like the 7-Up with grenadine, or which we can control the level of cherryness in your white soda?
I have a very old bottle of like Da Vinci cherry syrup.
Yeah.
It may have even come from when I worked at Riley, so it's like 20 years old. So it's tip top shape, right?
I have a bottle of old cherry grenadine syrup in my fridge, and I was wondering if that stuff goes bad. It smells fine, it tastes fine. I'm like, does it go bad?
Right.
I don't know.
Until you die from it, you don't know.
I mean, you give it the sniff test. If it smells good, you give it a taste. If it tastes fine, it's got to be fine, right? I don't know. That's kind of that way with everything. Milk. Do you guys drink milk past the expiration if it tastes fine and smells fine? Like if it's 1 or 2 days past.
That gets to that point.
I hope my mom is not listening, because she was the biggest stickler about, this is expired. You can't drink it or you can't eat it.
Like that commercial. Expired.
Yeah, that is my mom. And so, yeah, there was one time where it was like 2 days before expiration date, and she's like, this milk looks bad, I'm throwing it out. And I'm like, Mom, it's fine. Like, I just drank some of it. You just drank some of it? It's 2 days from expiration. And I'm like, yeah. So
milk will let you know.
Yeah.
If it's no good. I mean, and it'll turn on a dime. It's not like it takes like 3 days for it to, it's not like it's gone bad and it takes 3 days to notice. You can drink it in the morning, and then if you want some more at lunch, it can be fine in the morning, and at lunch it can go bad. It's like
Yep.
it's like instantly,
And you'll
it's,
know.
you'll know if it's good or bad. Yeah.
So we've been buying for years now the ultra pasteurized stuff that like the expiration date's like 5 months out. So
Yeah.
we never have that issue.
The higher percentage, like 1% compared to 2 or whole, the
Mhm.
higher up you go, the more fat content, I guess, the longer it lasts. Because I know
Yeah.
organic whole will last a long time.
Yeah,
Not
and
longer
that's
than like 1 or 2%.
we're whole milk people in this family.
Ooh, are you organic
Whoa.
whole though?
That's a milkshake.
We're
If you, I want to see how much money you spend on milk, because like that's like $9 for an
it's
organic whole
not
milk.
that. We do Fairlife.
Okay.
So
We gave our kids growing up organic whole milk, and yeah, it was like $9 a gallon, and that was 14 years ago, 15 years ago. But
I love
that stuff
how
tastes delicious.
I love how Bill mentions that his stomach isn't feeling well, and we start talking instantly about
Milk.
spoiled milk.
yes.
I Amy and I have the discussion because she won't drink anything past, if it's a day past, even milk, she's like, nope, gone. I'm
Yeah.
like, but it tastes and smells fine.
Yeah. We constantly have the debate, best by date versus expiration date.
Yes.
And
Oh,
yeah.
Everything in my mind, everything is a best buy date because
me too.
Because I'm like, I've had some stuff in my pantry, like dry goods, right? Like instant oatmeal, like packets. I'm kid you not that I think I found a box in there that said Best Buy 2018.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow. And I don't know. I didn't eat it, but I'm like, I'm sure it's fine.
Well, I made the mistake, and it actually turned out like they tasted fine. I had like 3 cough drops the other day or yesterday, and I see it in the trash later that night, and my wife's. I was like, "What? Did you throw these cough drops away?" I was like, "I've been using those," and she goes, "Did you check the expiration date?" And I said, "No," and she goes, "We must have bought these right after we moved into this house. It was 2019."
Well,
I was like, "Oh, dude, like, yeah, but they tasted fine and they did help soothe my throat."
Do cough drops count as medicine? Because I know medicine doesn't go bad; it just becomes less effective. If it's like a year past expiration, it might become like half as effective as it would be otherwise, but you can still use it.
And I think cough drops
Great
have
question.
to fall into that same category.
Probably.
Cough drops are almost like candy sometimes,
Right.
though, like menthol candy.
The one thing that ruins a cough drop is if they get melted, right? And then you can't get the wrapper up off of it. That's the worst.
It's lost its structural integrity.
I remember when I was a kid, I left a package out in the garage, and I went out and was like, "Oh yeah, there they are!" And I grabbed them, and I mean, every single one was stuck together. It was ugh. I was like, "Oh, damn it! I needed these, and I can't drive yet."
I used to ride my bike to the pharmacy, the Moody's Pharmacy in Fairview Heights, and it was a drugstore. But they had Luden's cough drops, which was essentially cherry candy, right?
Yes,
there was
cherry
nothing
candy all the way.
Nothing cough droppy about it. It was just cherry hard candies. But I buy them, but they were marketed as cough drops. I guess any kind of hard candy can kind of coat your throat a little bit, but yeah, it was. I used to buy them just to eat.
Yeah, same here.
Let's move on. So Ken Morris says in the chat, "Jeff, I would like to catch your podcast, but I never know when it's going on the air." And of course,
subscribe.
A price in the chat had to be a smartass and say it's on now. That would be Keith Price. Shocker. But yes, Ken does clarify. I mean his solo podcast he mentioned earlier. Yes. So Ken, what social media platforms do you use? Because whenever I post or whenever I do make one, I do post on Blue Sky and Threads every single time. But if Facebook is your go-to, or I don't know, our Discord channel, I can start posting there too. Whatever works for you, I'm happy to.
I should add that. I didn't even think about that because on our Discord, we've got the show when it goes on the podcast. We should
let's do that.
We should do both. And I forgot about it. But just, I mean, certain podcast apps, right, will notify you when a new one
Yep.
is acquired. So yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know what podcasting app you use, if you use one at all, but if you have Apple, obviously Apple Podcasts is great. If you don't want to use an Apple product, I use Podbean. I think they're great.
Pocket
I don't know, you
Cast, I
guys,
think is a good one.
Pocket
Like-
Cast,
Yeah. What else do I have?
iHeartRadio, we're on there, so you can download that app.
Yeah.
Let me see. What else do I know we're
We're on
on?
a bunch of. Go to the website. That shows where we're on.
Spotify's where I get it.
Spotify is a good one.
Yeah, obviously, Spotify. Amazon Music is another one.
Yep.
So
Yep.
plenty of places. Any podcast, you can literally go on Google right now, just type in podcasting app. And okay, Ken says Facebook is his primary. So tell you what, every time I post one, I will put a Facebook post up as well. So that way you'll see it. I am catering this show to you, Ken. You are my most important audience.
Oh, I don't know where this came from, but yeah, I do enjoy my Flintstone vitamins. As a kid, I did. I think he's referring to the time that I broke into the container and ate a bunch of them.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, you're hungry. What else were you going to do?
I mean, yeah. What else are you going to do, Earl? And you had to eat little Flintstone vitamins. You were hungry. There was nothing else in the fridge. I used to eat raw hot dogs. I go in the fridge, just get a raw hot dog and just eat it cold.
No, I do. I do love the meme that I've seen that says, like, it's a picture of the Flintstone vitamins, and it said the reason that our generation is tougher than anyone else's.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Everybody took a daily Flintstone vitamin, and that's why I'm going to live to be 100.
Yep, that's right. Well, let's get into some hockey talk here, boys. So this was a week ago, but I think it's worth noting, especially since we had a pregame show on this game. Bennington and Parayko, as well as Team Canada, that's the side note, Team Canada, won a thrilling Four Nations face-off finale, 3-2 in overtime. Connor McDavid scored the game-winning goal, and he got the MVP, which my only real note to start us off here is I thought it was funny that McDavid was even like, I played terrible. Why did this not go to Bennington?
He wasn't good.
That is the NHL pandering to Connor McDavid. That's what that was. Even he didn't like it.
I mean, he did. They even said it on the air. The broadcast team said he didn't have a particularly good game until he scored. Right. Yep. Until Matthews, who didn't do jack shit the entire series or the entire tournament, and then blows by McDavid and goes to cover a guy that's already kind of being covered and just leaves McDavid open in the worst part of the ice, and boom, done, game over.
Yep.
So
even Connor Hellebuck, as good as he was, that he's not stopping McDavid in the slot.
If I were putting together a team USA for the Olympics, I'm not putting Matthews on that team. He didn't do jack shit on this team, and he essentially missed an assignment that cost him the game.
Hot take.
He does not make my team for the Olympics. I'm sorry, he doesn't. He's not a big game player. He disappears. He doesn't play in big games.
Leaving him off the whole roster. I'd say put him fourth line minutes at the worst.
I'm sorry. He doesn't do anything. No.
He set up the.
Man, you get mad at me for saying to bench Kyrou.
Kyrou does shit. He does stuff. I don't. You know where I'm coming from. Matthews sucked in this tournament.
I get your anger.
Right?
I really do.
I'm not
going into the tournament, he was not playing his best hockey either.
No.
And then they held him out of that Sweden game because they said he had upper body soreness, which I'm like, what? So what we all deal with is 20 and 30 and 40-year-olds? Like, what? So, yeah, I was not a fan of Matthews in this tournament either. I'm not for leaving him off the Olympic roster, but I would shelter his minutes more.
What has he ever done
and I didn't like him being
big games, playoffs? Either. What has he ever done? Yeah, I know. I didn't
like
get that
him
either.
As team captain either. I thought that should have been Matthew Tkachuk personally.
Let's see. Playoffs in the NHL. He's got. Yeah, I mean, he puts up some number, 37 points, 72 points in 82 games. Okay, so he's got some. His teams don't go anywhere. Yeah,
right. But not the big games, right? They haven't got to the final, right?
Elimination games and the big games late in the series.
Boston, especially that building, right? He's terrible in Boston Garden or TD Garden or whatever it's called. Unlike Jordan Binnington,
Yeah, let's focus on that because
Right.
that to me, and I'll just tell you guys, and I said this I think on social media, and I even posted a video because I was so excited. Halfway through the game, my son loves to chant USA. Okay, he loves it, and so the whole game he's sitting there making me go USA, USA with him. But then when I told him it was Jordan Binnington in net for Canada, he calls him Binner. It's the best way he can say his name. And he started saying, Binner, go Binner, go Binner. And so then finally I was like, he's not even chanting USA anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are we rooting for Binnington now? Sure. Why not? So halfway through the game, I literally took off my USA jersey. I put on my Binnington jersey, and we rooted for Team Canada. And we had the time of our lives watching him fucking dominate. I thought all game personally, but especially in overtime. And just again, I'm American. I love America. I do. But to see him steal that game in Boston again. Oh God, man. I wanted to I can't even say what I wanted to do. I wanted to shoot a load. I'll just say it. It was fantastic.
Yeah, wait till your son goes to bed, and then you can.
Well, he was in bed.
Okay, so, and it was funny. The kids are funny because my daughter, we were watching the game together, and it was so funny to watch her. She was so conflicted because she really wanted Bennington and Parayko to play well, and she wanted to root for them, but she also wanted to root for USA. And it was like she was kind of halfway rooting for both teams, and when USA would score, she'd be like, oh no, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
And it was so funny.
Yeah, I was the exact same way until it got to overtime. And when it got to overtime, it was Binnington. I want Binnington to win this so badly.
By the end, we were all rooting for Binnington.
Well, I'll be on an island. Don't get me wrong. I love Bennington, love Parayko. I wanted them to do well, but I wanted USA to win. I didn't want the goal to be Bennington's fault. I wanted it to be a nice goal, right? But I was rooting for USA all the way, and I was just. But at the end of the game, I sent you guys a message. I was like, and I was not overly disappointed, right? Because Bennington gets the win, and Bennington gave pretty much all of Canada hockey fans great big shitburger to eat, because everybody was ripping on the decision to make him the starter, even him on the team. Some people were like, no.
Dude, after he won the game against Finland to get him in the final, people were still saying, all right, start Aiden Hill.
Yeah. And it doesn't make any sense. People who watch Bennington play every game get it. They know. Blues fans understand. Most of them understand. Those who get goaltending, I'll say that, understand how it works, right? He's a big game goalie, generally speaking, a big game goalie who can struggle in the season at times, but is generally a very good a guy that you can win with. He's a guy you can win with. Big games, he plays well. He did it against Colorado. We'll talk about. He did it last night. My God, when the Blues need wins, he's won 4 out of his last 5. He's 4-0-1 his last 5, something like that.
4-1.
Yeah, so he's stepping it up down the stretch when the Blues need him, when they're trying to scratch back into it. So we know this. We watch him play. It's the people who watch him play 3 or 4 times a year, when their team plays him and they hate the guy, or they remember something he did 3 years ago that they can't stand him for, and he just has that label on him, and they hate him because of it. And it's so great to see him perform on the big stage again. Yep. Like you said, Jeff, in Boston again, to piss off a lot of Boston Bruins fans in the stands, I imagine, again. That was sweet. I enjoyed that, because who doesn't like to stick it to Boston fans, right?
Yeah, Bill, I know you were. I mean, like I said, you said in overtime you were already rooting for him, but I thought overall, and we talked about this in our pregame show for the final, that Binnington had, of all the goalies that played more than one game, Binnington had the second best stats. And I had somebody on Twitter that was like, well, yeah, what a dumb comment. There's only 4 teams. And I'm like, okay, four of those goalies have played more than 2 games. And he has the second best stats out of 4 of the best goalies in the world.
That's the thing, right? These 4 teams have some of the best goalies in the world. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You can't just say they're 4 random teams. It's 4 select
It's not
teams.
like it was Team Canada versus Ottawa, Montreal, and Detroit. It was the 4 best goalies of those 4 nations.
Really wish that Russia wasn't a big piece of shit and they were allowed to play in this series. That'd have been fun.
Right. Because right now Russian goaltending has been the best, in terms of country of origin for goaltenders between Vasilevsky and Shesterkin. It's a shame that we didn't get to see them, but we did. Connor Hellebuck's the reigning Vezina, and probably the leading Vezina candidate this year, right? So the U.S. should, on paper, have had the better goaltending. And who was it? Who had the best stats of the goalies? Was it Hellebuck?
It was Hellebuck, yeah.
Yeah, but
for a while there, Lankinen, though, right?
After Lankinen was up there, and then
he was
the other
strong.
one was Swedish goalie,
Ersson,
yeah.
There's something to be said too, that the 2 goalies in the final game, Binnington and Hellebuck, who has a cup, and why did his team win that cup?
Right. Well, and even just saying that, and I know that the U.S. basically sat Hellebuck for the last game, or the last game of the round robin, just because they didn't need to play him. But Binnington is the only one that played all 4 games for his team. I'm sorry, Canadian fans that were just dogging him not even just the entire tournament, leading up to the tournament. Seeing them finally, and I will say, and I'll give some people credit. I saw some people on Sportsnet posts and stuff saying I was his biggest critic. He has shut me up. Thank you, Jordan Binnington. And I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Do you think you finally get it?
Do you think that there's going to be less criticism of Binnington now because of this?
Yeah, I think so.
Because there's quite a bit of it before.
Yes. Right.
I mean, and we've addressed it numerous times on the show about how unjust and stupid a lot of the comments are. So I would hope that people say, "Oh, I kind of get it now. I understand goaltending a little bit better."
Right. So even last year with the Fleury non-fight, right? Everybody was rooting against him and talking about how he's the hated goalie, right? And I think this tournament is what flips the script on that, right? He's over 30. We're how many years removed from the Kadri bullshit, and because that's where public opinion really turned against him, right? People loved him in 2019 because he beat the Bruins, right? But then it was the Avalanche, everybody's darling, and the people digging up possibly racist tweets from when he was a kid, and throwing that shit out there because he was pissed off and threw a water bottle at Kadri, who purposely injured him in that series.
And it's fucking Kadri, who is a fucking dirty piece of shit.
Right.
So I mean, it's so batshit backwards that if there's a conflict between Binnington and Kadri, Binnington should have had the nation in his corner against Kadri, because anybody who's objectively watching this game knows Kadri went in there on purpose.
Well, and there was that one idiot, the Avalanche reporter, who is of, I think, Indian descent, and he's made a comment about how he was racist for throwing a water bottle at him. And I'm like, you are reaching, buddy. Yeah. He was throwing. No, yes, I find it funny that he did it. Should he have done it? No. But there was no racism involved in that at all.
I would say he should have done it. It's an empty. If it was a full water bottle and he hit him with it, that's different. That's heavy. It's that's kind of addictive. That's addicting to do. Empty water bottle weighs like 1/8 of an ounce, right? And it's just, you could throw it as hard as you could against somebody from 2 feet away. It's nothing. It's like a fly.
The best you could do is the cap might hit him in the eye. That's it.
But yeah, and so it was just kind of stupid that I think fans kind of shot themselves in the foot over and over again with this because there was an easy decision here. You back Bennington in this rivalry between him and Kadri. It's a no brainer. Kadri's a piece of shit. Now Bennington has done some what's the word, controversial things on the ice as far as stick swinging and things like that. And you can break that down however you like, and how as far as how serious that was or not. But Kadri, if you look at his history, he's a total fucking douchebag,
Right.
compared to Bennington. So how do you? It's just the fans fell on their face.
We are getting way off track here.
Eh.
Let's focus on Bennington's play in the Four Nations face-off. In fact, let's go ahead and get to it, Bill. We've got our save of the week, which you've never done in the first segment, but we're going to do it now.
I wonder what it could be.
Surprise. Yeah, it's Jordan Binnington in overtime. Here it is, Bill Day's save of the week.
Save of the week.
All right. So everybody knows what this is. Jordan Binnington makes the save on Austin Matthews. Austin Matthews makes a really damn good pass here on the rebound, throws it over to Brady Tkachuk, and man, Binnington has the presence of mind, tracks the puck, follows it all the way in, and makes the perfect push, leads with the glove, snatches it out of the air, robbing Brady Tkachuk of a tournament-winning goal. This, it's just an incredible save. What we've come to expect, right? It's on par with the save on Joachim Nordstrom in Game 7 in Boston, happening in the same building. So pump his tires a little bit. You guys keep watching this because this is such a beautiful, beautiful thing. We could watch it all day on repeat. So we'll let you go ahead and do that while I break down. Leading up to this, you get to the third period. The game is tied at 2. U.S. comes out humming to start the third period. Jake Gensel gets a breakaway. Bennington stones him. Gets the 5-hole closed, 17:07 left in the period. And then next shift, Zach Werenski gets a feed from Jake Gensel, and Bennington comes out, challenges, gets big, throws pad out, makes a save. Then we get to overtime, 17:08 left. Austin Matthews gets a partial break. Bennington makes a big save, tracked it, led his push with the blocker. Beautiful blocker save on that one. Made a great save. Then we get to this, right? This is the winner right there. And Bennington gets the glove on the shot from Brady. Don't forget, folks, ensuing face-off after this, Austin Matthews gets another 5-bell chance, tries to go upper glove, and Benner gets it. Makes the save. Less than 4 minutes later, Austin Matthews leaves Connor McDavid alone in the slot. Game over.
Of all people, leave alone in the slot. The one guy.
I'll say the one thing that I thought about probably about 5 minutes after this McDavid's goal was I thought there is probably one guy in Boston, big Bruins fan, who went to Game 7, cursed Binnington's name all night. Then he was like, you know what? Let's watch Team USA beat up Binnington. And then all of a sudden, Jordan Binnington does what he did. And it's just like that one fan is probably like, I'm never buying a ticket to a game that Binnington's playing in again.
Yeah, just absolute incredible performance when the game is on the line, right? And that's, we'll talk about it when we get to the trade talk. But man, his stock has risen so high. Like the public opinion of him at an all-time high. Just amazing performance from Jordan Binnington.
And it's funny.
And
I was say it's funny because we, as Blues fans, have seen this. We know what he does this often in big games, right? That's what he does.
Last year, he had such a damn good year. The entire year, he was solid. This year's been bit of a different story.
Yep.
You know, the leaky goals have crept back in, but after this tournament, I'm not betting against him. But here's
Hasn't
the
lost
big
in regulation
question.
in his last 5. He's 4-0-1
Right.
in his last 5, so he's on it right now.
So here's the big question: who starts tomorrow?
It's Hofer.
Yeah.
It's over.
100%.
It's fucking, yeah. And we're gonna not win 3 straight. And this is not a knock on Hofer, but it's just we've talked about this to death. You've got a hot goalie, one of the hottest goalies in the NHL, and he's played 2 in a row. Why the fuck can't he play 3 in a row?
And play against the best team in the NHL right now.
Right.
And
they're the highest
Alex
scoring
Ovechkin,
team.
who's 13 away now.
If there is a game, and I said this thing last week, right? If there's a game where Binnington should break the mold and play 3 straight, it should be this one.
Yep.
But
it won't be.
I hope it is. I hope it can't always be 2-1, 2-1, 2-1, right?
Yes,
it's got to be, you can change it up at some point because you're in desperation mode right now. So you should adjust your attack plan based on the situation. So you're kind of in desperation mode.
What in the Blues' history makes you think they will do that?
But what are they saving him for? If they miss the playoffs, what are they saving him for? Nothing. They need to get in, and you've got
They're
a
not
hot
saving
goalie.
him for anything. They're just following a script.
But the script is to make it so they don't get worn out too early in the season. We're getting late in the season. It's a game they really need points badly, and it's against the best team in the NHL, or one of the best. Are they the best?
They are the best.
Okay. It's like, you know what?
Winnipeg might be better. I'm sorry.
Right.
Either
Right.
way, one of the best. They're a hot team. They're playing well. Play your best goalie. It's 3 in a row. It's not a big deal.
Coming out of the Four Nations, I thought it was 100% the right move to play Joel Hofer.
Yeah.
Especially since we're playing, Connor Hellebuck's team, and Hellebuck's not starting, right? We get Eric Comrie. And, that game's not on Hofer for losing it. And
You're putting the cart before the horse, Bill.
I know.
Talking about that game here in a minute.
I know. Well, we're not going to talk a lot about it much because, man, we're way overdue for a break.
Yes,
let's
we are.
Let's take a break.
So let's talk about it. We will talk about Binnington more, I'm sure. But yes, Four Nations, huge success for Blues fans. That's the way I looked at it. Yes, it sucks. USA did not win it, but for Blues fans, you got to be happy with the way your goaltender and defenseman played.
Sure.
That's the way I see it.
Agree.
All right, let's move on. We will take a quick break. You will hear from our wonderful sponsors. When we get back, we will talk Blues hockey and probably, likely, definitely more Jordan Binnington. You are listening to Jeff, Kurt, and Bill on Let's Go Blues Radio.
We'll return after these messages.
As a hockey player, Mike Burgoyne knows a thing or two about making the perfect play. And when it comes to real estate, he's always ready to score the winning goal for his clients. If you're a first responder, a veteran, a doctor, a nurse, a teacher, or a Let's Go Blues radio listener looking to score the home of your dreams, you'll receive special rates with Mike. Go ahead, shoot some questions his way, and he'll have the answer quicker than Curtis Joseph on a breakaway.
Curtis Joseph got the pedal down.
Any barriers? Mike will mow them down like Chris Pronger in front of the net. He'll score you your dream home or sell your existing home faster than a Brett Hall one-timer.
Flip past the Hall. He shoots. He scores.
See Burgoyne's real estate prowess in action today by emailing him at mike@strikewithmike.com or by calling 314-753-4060. That email again is mike@strikewithmike.com, and that phone number is 314-753-4060. Getting Mike Burgoyne on your team will be the boost your power play needs.
Hey guys, it's Jeff. You know, the fun, energetic host of Let's Go Blues Radio. I know I give off a natural energy and cheerful glow, but as I've gotten older, I've realized I need a kick in the pants to get going. I've tried it all, from forcing myself to drink coffee to picking up an energy drink every morning, but none of it provided true, sustainable energy without crash. Luckily, my friend Dustin at RockinThatIDLife.com told me about their product, Energy, which provides exactly what I need. The first thing I do every morning morning is fill up my shaker bottle with water and a small energy packet, and within minutes of drinking it, my day truly begins. I feel motivated to get going on my work and feel the mental focus take effect as I dive into what I'm doing. I don't crash, and I feel like $1,000,000 throughout the day. Reach out to Dustin today to experience how much better your professional life can be. Email him at rockinthatidlife@gmail.com and get $10 off your first order. That's rockinthatidlife.com, and that email again is rockinthatidlife@gmail.com. Don't let a lack of energy keep you from being who you want to be.
Yes, and as you can see, there are a lot of different ways to stamp out thirst with refreshing Stag beer. Now, one of the most popular is this handy six-pack. People like the six-pack because it saves space in the refrigerator, lets them keep more good, cold Stag beer on hand. And you know, when you've got Stag on hand, you've got a mess.
And now, back to Let's Go Blues Radio, the longest running St. Louis Blues podcast with Price, Ponder, and Day.
Well, we've got some comments that came in while we were discussing. Ken Morris says, USA did not have Quinn Hughes. Charlie McAvoy was injured. Brady and Matthew were playing injured. If these teams played 20 games against each other, it would be 10 wins each. Give me a best of 21 between USA and Canada. That sounds awesome. I'm right there with you, Ken. And then he also asks, is Russia in the Winter Olympics? I think not, but I may be wrong. I believe their ban is still ongoing for the doping scandal. So they'll have a team. It'll be the, what do they call it?
Unified, right?
Yeah, it's like the athletes of...
the Olympic... Yeah.
I don't remember what they called it. But it basically, Russian athletes are allowed to compete. They just
not
can't
under their
compete
flag.
Under the Russian flag.
Right.
Yeah.
Which...
So, yeah.
Which is kind of a... That's not how it used to be. It used to be you couldn't play.
Yeah.
It's almost like they went soft.
Yep.
I don't know. I get it, though. You know, the athletes have nothing to do with the issues, so I get it on the other hand.
Yep, I do too. And then I meant to mention this in the open, but we are now taking orders for the lovely white Let's Go Blues Radio jersey. So if you have not reached out yet and have not ordered your jersey, reach out to us on social media, radio@letsgoblues.com. We'll be happy to set you up with one of those sweet jerseys. I did get confirmation they will be $45 a piece, so not bad for a sexy jersey.
It's a bargain.
Yeah, we'll also take 1 Bitcoin for them.
Bill might. I won't, because I don't understand
it. You know what? I could have it explained to me, and I would like in detail by an expert. I would still not get it.
No, I've had it explained to me by someone who has been into crypto from the beginning, and it never sticks.
Yep. Well, so let's get into talking about some actual Blues team stuff. Out of the Four Nations face-off break, the Blues lost in a shootout to the Jets 4-3. Bill brought it up before break that
spoiler alert.
Yeah, but we were thinking I was with you. I knew that Hellebuck and Binnington were not going to play, but I thought, man, how much fun would that have been to literally get on the biggest stage, U.S., Canada, Hellebuck, Binnington, and then 2 days later, get them with their clubs battling again. Like, that would have been awesome. But I'm with you. I totally understood why both teams decided not to start their starter. In fact, Winnipeg didn't even dress Hellebuck. He didn't even travel to St. Louis. So that was interesting.
Team Canada started Binnington 4 in a row.
That's true.
So the Blues can't do it 3 in a row, but Canada did 4 in a row.
Look what Binnington did.
They won a fucking world title.
Yeah.
Right.
So
how much the goalie more than 2 games in a row?
It's the same general manager too. That's the great
thing. What the? Come on, come on, Doug. Let's go. It's crunch time. Play your hot goalie more than 2 in a row. Let's go. Come on.
Yep. Only one goal in the shootout, and it was Kyle Connor. The misses were from Robert Thomas, Pavel Buchnevich, Braden Shen, and Mark Scheifele. This was the Jets' 9th straight victory. They won tonight, and they are now at 11 straight victories. So Winnipeg is absolutely rolling.
This game sucks.
But I thought, yeah,
I mean the outcome.
I thought it was a well-played game.
I agree.
I was kind of expecting a stinker out of the Four Nations. I thought teams might look a little flat.
You know what's funny about this though is that going from watching this elite level of hockey, and the first period of this game looked like a men's league game. It really did. I mean, because and it's not the fault of the teams playing. It's just like you're going from this best teams ever, maybe, right, on the ice compared to what you see now, which, you know, Winnipeg's very good this season, and the Blues, and it looked like bad hockey for a period until you adjusted to the play.
You start seeing like offsides and icing, and you're like,
mishandles.
Wait, I didn't see that at all in the Four Nations game.
Where's these no-look blind tape-to-tape passes? I don't see them.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, in defense of the players, right? They most of them had 2 weeks off, and Kyle Connor got scratched in the final, so he was fresh. The one that scored the only shootout goal.
This game hurt because you allow a goal with 30 seconds to go, whatever it was. It's like, man, and you could have won. And seeing how the Blues played after this, and how they finished before the Four Nations with a win, it's like, they could have easily, if they held on for 30 more seconds, beat the Jets, then beat the Avalanche. It's like, damn, back-to-back wins, Jets and Avalanche. Holy shit!
Announcing
maybe this team can play some hockey now,
right?
And but you lose.
This one goes out to listener Leon. He said that he's going to make a claim that this comment will be made on our show. So I will go ahead and say it now. Hey, they got 3 out of 4 points against the Jets and the Avalanche. That's nothing to sneeze at.
It's nothing to sneeze at. However, where the Blues are on the standings and what they need to do, losing a point with 30 seconds to go sucks.
It does suck.
Right.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, I forgot that this game was on Channel 4. And I couldn't figure out where the game was. I didn't start watching until it got to that goal, right? So, I figured something had happened because the ESPN app hadn't updated for like a minute at 27.9 seconds or whatever it was when they scored. And so I finally figured out it was on Channel 4 and decided I'll just see what the final what happened, and kind of fast forwarded through the rest of the game. But that was painful.
It was
tough game. Anything else from this game you boys want to mention?
Rough game.
Yep.
I mean, it was a good game. I enjoyed the game. The Blues played well. I just and they just didn't hold on at the end. And what else can you say? It just sucks. It sucks to lose that way.
Yeah, I guess what I would say is, fuck, enough of the 6 o'clock Saturday night starts.
Yeah,
give us the full prime time.
I didn't realize. I mean, I knew the game was on Channel 4, and I thought that I was like, oh, my DVR, did it get it? And it's set to record all Blues games wherever they are, so it got it. But I was like, it didn't register to me. Like, they didn't have any branding for Channel 4 on the screen, right?
No,
it looked like a regular game on FanDuel.
Midwest. No branding except in the intermission reports.
Okay, I fast forwarded through some of those because I watched on DVR, but I was like, it was weird that there was no branding on screen for Matrix or whatever. I was like, that's odd.
Yep. I did not watch this game live either. I had a trivia night that night.
General.
So it was Down syndrome trivia, but not trivia about Down syndrome. It was trivia supporting Down syndrome. I love telling that joke. I tell that joke every year.
We're gonna have. I mean, I get that it wouldn't be done, but if you have a certain sense of humor, it would have been funny to have a Down syndrome category.
Yes, I agree.
I don't know what questions you would have, but that idea seems funny to me.
Yes,
I
it
don't
would have
know.
been.
I don't
And
know.
yes, I am your audience. I would have
Okay,
enjoyed
all
that.
right.
So anyway, Randy Carricker actually donates his time and he does the whole emceeing of the event, reads the questions, which is great. Which, by the way, there was a Harry Potter question, Bill, and the way that he pronounced Hermione, Hermione, he called her
Oh,
Hermione,
Hermione. He didn't.
and yeah, we all laughed, and he's like,
Hermione.
"What? Did I say it
Hermione.
wrong?" We're like, "Yeah," but
I was like, you can get hockey players' names right, but you can't get that right.
so we were trying to not, which I figured it wouldn't happen, but I thought, well, at the Blues game, I'm going to find out. So I was like, I pretty much kept up with the game on my phone the whole night. But with the City game, I was like, okay, there's a chance we can get through the night without knowing what happened. And of course, right on a row, Randy Carricker goes, tough night for St. Louis sports. The Billikens lost, the Blues lost, and we got a tie 0-0 for St. Louis City.
Why would he do that?
And like half the crowd was like, hey,
Dude.
like, dude.
You know, it's easy not to, I guess it would be kind of easy not to know the score because during trivia, you're supposed to have your phones, right? So
Right.
Most of the time. In between, you can get, but you just put it away. Oh, he's a sports guy. Why would you do that?
And that's what I was doing was between rounds, I would check my phone and be like, oh, hey, the Blues, it's 2-2, you know, but like I made sure to stay away from City because I'm like, that way when we get home, we could still watch an event and not know what happened. And I was like, God damn it, dude.
I was watching the Blues game on DVR delayed, and then I watched the City game after. And I still fucking don't know why they do this the way they do it, and it pissed me off. You have to like what?
They show the score when you.
Well,
try
no,
to
you can
watch it on
turn
Apple
scores
TV.
off on Apple TV. You can turn them off, so they don't show, which I do. But if you watch it, want to watch a game after it's over, you have to scroll down through all the highlights of that fucking game to get to the bottom to where, and it's like almost like a hidden menu. You got to click and then click again to see the game,
the full game
version. Yeah. And I'm like, why? Anybody who's going to this page is probably wanting to watch the whole game. I mean, or a good chunk of them are. So why don't you just put that front and center? Because you have the foresight to say, okay, let's turn the scores off so you don't spoil it for people. But then you gotta make them run through all these highlights and stuff like, oh, I don't want to look at highlights. Don't look. I don't want to see any if anybody score.
Well, and so for me, I usually have to bite the bullet. I'm the one that I tell my wife because she's more invested in City than I am. So I tell her like, close your eyes. I'm about to pull up the page, and it's like half the time I see what happened because of the highlights. I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah, and you know what? I hope the season's different. I hope they have more success this season. However, I mean, this is just like last season. You know, a bunch of ties early on, and they couldn't score.
Well, like, and so that's the point. And Bill, maybe you'll disagree. You're more of a soccer guy than me, but like for me, it's like if I knew the score final was 1-1, I'd be like, okay, I'll still watch it. I'm not going to watch a 0-0 game.
Exactly.
So when he said that they tied 0-0, I'm like, fuck, now I'm not going to watch the game at all.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. No,
come on, Randy.
100%.
Did you send him a message about that, like on Twitter or something? Or
I thought about it.
You should have, because that's, you know, I was like, hey, dude, love you. You're fantastic. I love Randy Carricker. I really do. But oh man, come on. And it just...
Yeah. For me, for the City game, I flipped it over after the Blues game was over, and it was. I decided I would just watch it in the last 10 minutes since it was 0-0. I'm like, no way do I want to go back and watch an hour and a half of nothing. And there was only one chance, right? There was one chance that they showed. It was the save Zach Steffen, Colorado's goalie, made on
the arm save, right?
Yeah, the arm save
early on. That was early on.
Yeah, 17th minute or something.
Yeah.
Not gonna go back and just watch that.
Berkey's my favorite player, so maybe I missed some saves from Berkey, but it's like, I'm sorry, if I know that I'm not going to be cheering for a goal at all, whether it's a go-ahead goal or a tying goal, I'm not going to watch the game.
That's I love soccer, but there's some things. I mean, I hate the clock thing. They should do it the way that college does it. The clock's over, it's over. just like any sport does it. I like that aspect of it. I wish I would change that. I mean, and ties. I don't like.
So
I don't like ties. I don't
be
like them.
careful. Be careful here, because Frank Cusimano made that same argument last week on Frankly Speaking, and
I rarely
said,
agree with
shut
Cusimano.
the fuck up.
I rarely agree with Cusimano.
Shut the fuck up, Frank. This is
if it's not basketball, he's kind of off in his own little thing.
So I wish MLS would do it differently, because I think that they need more differentiation in their league, because it's a lesser product than La Liga or Premier League or whatever, but yeah, that's saying get rid of ties in all of soccer. I don't like that at all. But
no. Figure it
out. Hey, this is a hockey show. Let's get back to hockey. On Sunday, the Blues overpowered the Avalanche 3-1, as we mentioned. Blues Honor defenseman Ryan Suter on Sunday for playing in his 1500th game on February 8th against the Chicago Blackhawks. What's funny?
No, I'm laughing at this because the Blues have done this now twice, and they're gonna have to do it again with the celebration first,
because they've got all these old fucking guys.
Right. I mean, I was just about to say that. What's to say about your roster when you've got three ceremonies and
right for games played, right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I will say, we talked about the Fowler painting. Same
Fowler,
thing with
Suter,
the Suter painting. I love the I don't know if that's watercolor. I'm not much of an artist, but whatever they're using to paint those and the artists they're getting to depict it, I love those. I think they look really cool.
I'd imagine it's oil, but yeah,
whatever. I don't know. I'm not an artist.
We should have Stephen Walden back on, and he can.
We should.
He would know.
Yes, he would know. I would guess oil. All the prominent paintings are oil typically. So.
Yeah,
oil on canvas.
Yeah, right.
Jordan Kyrou and Justin Falk each had 2 assists for the Blues. Robert Thomas had an assist to extend his point streak to 6 games, in which he has 3 goals and 6 assists. After this game, Blues go to 3-1-2 in their past 6 games. Jordan Binnington makes his first debut for the Blues since the Four Nations face-off. He played really well. 28 saves on 29 shots, specifically 13 saves in the third period to keep the Blues leading 3-1.
Yeah, and the only shot that beat him was a amazing deflection by Devon Taves on the shot from. Yeah.
Sounds so fancy, Devon.
Yeah,
sounds like a SNL character. Sounds like a gay SNL character in the 90s.
It's kind of like Stefan. Right?
Stefan.
Yeah, that's played by Bill Hader.
Yes, one of the greatest Bill Hader characters. There were a lot of them, but yes. This show has everything.
Yes, it does.
Peter Dinklage cosplay. Oh wait, sorry.
No, and I thought this was, again, like the Winnipeg game. I thought this was a very well played game. I thought any kinks you talked about, Kurt, in the first period of the Winnipeg game, it looked like men's league compared, and maybe it's just because it's been
you're watching a high
now. You're in game 2 after, but I do feel like this game looked a little cleaner than we saw at the start of that Winnipeg game.
Yeah, and it wasn't so much, my comment wasn't so much a knock on the players in that particular game. It was just like you go from watching one level of hockey to another and you notice a stark difference, right? It's just like, oh, you're used to this. It's like when it's 0 degrees for a week and all of a sudden it's like 40 and it's like, oh, this seems warm, when 40 is not warm, but it seems warm compared to. So it's like what you're used to recently, and it's like, oh, this is different. So, but yeah, this game, oh my God. So losing to Colorado in the first time they played the season 5-0, that was embarrassing.
Yes.
And I mean, it's not a knock on Colorado. They're very good, but you don't want to lose 5-0 to anybody. And then to come back and beat them 3-1, and they played very well. Anytime you beat Colorado, it's a win. It's a giddy win, I think you'd call it.
Yes.
Because you hate Colorado. And to beat them 3-1 and in a game they really needed to win after losing that game to Winnipeg the way they did.
Right.
Yeah, fantastic.
but in its second night of back-to-backs against the two best teams in your division,
Yeah.
right? That's tough sledding, no matter what part of the season you're talking about. And I thought Bennington played remarkably well. It looked like McCarr and McKinnon might have been a little gassed, especially McCarr getting out positioned by Parayko on Parayko's goal. I thought that was brilliant. Brilliant.
Oh yeah,
play by
dude,
Parayko to get behind him.
Parayko driving the net like that on that play, that was beautiful. I know that, clearly if he misses that puck, maybe you got a 3-on-1 the other way for Colorado, but he capitalized and just showed that, he's a tough dude. And Cale Makar is one of the best defensemen to ever play the game. Let's be honest. And he outmuscled him and made him look stupid.
So, Colorado being 5-5 in the last 10 now, they've lost 2 straight. They're in a wild card spot right now. And, Vancouver had struggles for a while. They're playing better now. Utah, the Blues are playing better now. Down the road, I don't see it happening, but how cool would it be to see Colorado slip down about 5 points?
Love it.
And just miss the playoffs?
Especially after training Rantanen. I'd love to see that.
Yeah. And the big gamble and goal, right?
Yeah.
And, basically trading like for like, trying to get a spark. And I'll say Blackwood was so good.
He was.
At the beginning of that game.
I know.
He robbed Shen 3 times before Shen finally beat him.
And he shut us out in the first game.
Yeah.
5-0.
Yep.
And I'm like, what? We can't beat this guy.
Right.
Yeah, I was
right after the trade.
Yeah, I was saying he always played well with San Jose against us last year too. He's the biggest reason
I was getting concerned.
Beat them
the first period. I'm like, what? And we're going to lose this game again to him.
Yep.
Yep. No, so a great game by the Blues, and again, the fact that they held on at the end, very important. Something we said we did not see against Winnipeg. So they win this one, and they are 1-0-1 coming out of the break, and then they have this monster game against Seattle last night. They score a season-high 7 goals, defeat Seattle 7-2 to end the homestand. Robert Thomas extended his point streak to 7 games with a goal and an assist. He has 4 goals, 7 assists, and 11 points during his point streak. Lots of stats we could rattle off here, but Oscar Sundqvist, which I thought that was interesting. First time in his career, 471 games. He's had more than 2 points. He had a goal and 2 assists. Bill Day, I know you were pushing for him to stay on that power play unit because it was very important. And he scored a nice goal there on the power play. 8 seconds into their first power play?
Yeah, I've been saying it all season. Set him in the middle of the slot on the power play and he'll snipe all day long.
Yep.
I don't think I said that.
This game, Blues played well, but I think the Blues took advantage of Seattle just playing dog shit hockey.
Yeah, Seattle's defense was
they were pylons. They were terrible.
I tell you what, you know why?
They
got a female coach behind the bench.
You know what? I mean, there's a common denominator between the sucking and female commentators or coaches behind the bench. No, that's not true. But
she doesn't coach their D though, does she?
I think she's the offensive specialist.
That's what I thought.
So no, I don't think so.
Either way, she's pretty offensive. Joking, kidding. I kid.
Oh, she's great, and I've only heard great things from the players. They said that Vince Dunn said something along the lines of like, she's one of the guys. Like, so I think that's great.
Yeah,
the whole game long, it was like this Seattle they looked terrible. They were they weren't taking away the passing lanes at all. They were standing around, missing assignments. Guys skating behind them, they're oblivious to the players that were, that they're supposed to be covering that they weren't. It was and the Blues were just tic-tac-toe passing through them and capitalizing. And are we going to talk about the non-challenge by the Blues on the?
Yeah, well, let's get to that in a minute. Let's
Okay.
talk more just about what we saw before all that because that was later in the game. Yeah, I thought one of the things that impressed me, and again, you guys are right, that Seattle played awful.
They were terrible.
But they played awful, but St. Louis also played with that same vigor, especially early on, that they had against Colorado, which how many times have we said this team plays down to their competition? They will lose to Chicago, but then they'll beat Colorado, and it's like a good team doesn't do that. Well, they came out and they dominated this game start to finish. One of the best statistical goalies in the league is Joey Decord. In almost every stat. They chased him after 5 goals on 21 shots. Yes, the latest pop star sensation came in, Nikki Coco. Tell me that doesn't sound like a pop star.
It
right?
sounds like a wrestler in the 80s.
Yep.
Nikki Coco.
Yeah, that's I had never heard of him, and it was something else to see him come in. I was kind of looking forward to seeing Joey Decord play because he's been on such a good run lately, and Ingle Magazine, friend of the show Kevin Woodley, recently did a piece with him breaking down some of his play, and I enjoyed that. So I was looking forward to getting to see him. I thought he played well, but his D was just terrible. Alexia,
some of the sexiest goals. Some of the sexiest goals we've seen the Blues score this season.
Yeah.
Now, granted, part of it is what Kurt said. They were letting seam passes just get through like crazy.
It's the worst. That's the worst I've seen a team play this season. I think they were terrible.
Wow. Yeah, I mean,
Seattle's
they terrible goals.
They were, yeah. Well, and it wasn't even. I mean, just the way the goals were scored was like Seattle just like didn't have a. It was like they were being coached by Mike Kitchen. I don't know. They had no plan whatsoever.
Man, Mike Kitchen reference.
Hey,
D to D and up the boards.
Hey, yeah, and figure it out, and then figure it out as you go.
So the Blues are 3-1 in their past 4 games, and ended a season-long 6-game homestand 3-1-2. So that's very positive. Secondary scoring, I think, has been an issue for this team. How often have we had to rely on Thomas, Buchnevich, Kyrou? The line of Sundqvist, Bolduc, and Joseph combined for 3 goals and 3 assists for 6 points. And worth noting, Joseph played in his 400th NHL game. I don't feel like he's been around that long, but I guess he has. So, yeah, interesting. And he had 4 hits, so that he played really well. He got sat for a little bit of that Colorado game. They even asked Montgomery why that happened, and he said it was a coach's decision, which means you're in the doghouse. So to see him come out and play so well and contribute offensively to that line was important to see.
So depth scoring, which you brought up, who is the most disappointing depth scorer or role-playing player on this team? As far as like production goes. Kevin Hayes. He's still the most disappointing, even though he's not here anymore. He is that bad.
Oh, that's a great question.
I
think it's obvious, right? I mean,
mm-hmm.
I've got somebody in mind, but I think it's obvious.
As
far as production goes.
My mind goes to Buchnevich, but he's not supposed to be a depth guy. He's supposed to be your top guy.
Right.
No, mine, because he had such a good year last year is Toropchenko.
Right. That's what I'm thinking of. I don't even know what the numbers are here. Is like he's gone 13 46 games with no goals.
Yeah.
7 assists, 47 games, no goals. And he has, was it 1 this season? He has 1 goal this season.
Oh my Lord.
So
and when you were talking about the switch from watching the Four Nations to that Winnipeg game, like that moment that I had that realization, it was when Toropchenko drove the net and didn't do something right.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, we're back to that now.
Yeah, we're back to watching third line muckers.
And I love Toropchenko. I do too. I think that long term, I'd like to see him be the net front presence guy in the power play. Once they finally hang up the corpse of Oscar Sundqvist.
3-point scorer, Oscar Sundqvist. Bill, calm down.
Sell high.
Yeah, trade him Binnington right now.
I think Pittsburgh wants him back right now.
Oh,
yeah. Like that's our only trading partner now.
Well, if Crosby is
Apparently.
still there, but I guess he's going to still be there. Maybe he won't him back because he was a big proponent of. He was mad that they lost Sundqvist.
Yep. Neighbors also ended a 10-game goal drought when he beat Coco, not Grant Fior, Nikki Coco.
Coco beware.
From the right circle at 11:55 to make it 6-0 So
empty net
that was
goal. I mean,
I'll say that was way empty net.
Yeah.
No chance at all. Like, we want to talk about, Blues having backdoor passes against them. There was no chance. No goalie ever is making that save. That was an empty net.
But he almost got it.
Yeah.
Right, dove across. That was the one he dove across with his paddle up, right?
Yep.
He almost
close,
got it.
Yeah, he didn't get it.
Because Neighbors shot it middle of the net, and he dove back middle of the net. But, he didn't get it, but, it was close.
All right, Kurt, you want to talk about the two weird plays in the third period?
Well, I didn't like it when the Blues didn't challenge. I understand they're up by a lot. There was 7-1 at the time. I didn't like them not challenging, only because I like the idea of fighting for your players. And somebody scored a goal there. And looking at the replay, I think the more I look at the replay, the more I see some contact made with the goalie. But I don't, who knows? I would have challenged it. You're up 7-1. Here's my deal. You're up 7-1. Challenge it. If you lose it, who cares? Whatever. You're up 7-1. You fight for your player. Your player would maybe like to have that goal, right? I don't know who scored that goal. I forgot.
Was it Fowler? Letty. It was Letty.
Letty's had a tough year, man.
Nick Letty.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Fight. And then when Seattle challenged later, right, on a goal that was and they're down by a lot, so they challenged. And I'm like, hold on. So in the spirit of sportsmanship, you have to figure that's the reason why the Blues didn't challenge. Yes. And then Seattle challenges later. I'm like, well, that to me, if I'm the Blues, I'm kind of pissed.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, so if you're playing for sportsmanship, game's over. Let's not challenge goals. Let's just get over with. And Seattle challenges. But I don't blame Seattle at all for challenging because they're fighting for their players. And the Blues should have done that. They should have played the game straight. If you think it's a goal, review it and challenge it. Who cares about the score? Get that player a goal if you can get him a goal and whatever. I
think you coach the game the same way no matter what the score is. So if it's 1-0 or if it's 9-0, I don't care. So if it's a goal where it's like that we should challenge that. No matter what the score is,
I agree.
That needs to be challenged. Then
I agree. And if they get pissed off that we're challenging a goal and want an extra goal to make it 8, and I'm asked about it in the post game presser, I'm like, I'm not going to take away a goal from a player who scored a goal. If I think it's a good goal, I'm going to fight for that guy's goal. Why should he not get a goal that he deserved because it was a bad call and we just said, game's over. That could be the difference in. That could be the difference in a milestone goal for him in his career down the road. Who knows? Right. So I don't know.
Maybe I don't know what his bonuses are if he has any in his contract, but maybe it's like you score 5 goals, you get $25K. Like, hey, Nick Letty's gonna want that goal then. So I'm with you. I think that was a kind of a chicken shit call by Jim Montgomery.
I agree. I was mad.
That's why I never in professional sports now in Little League and in beer league, whatever, I have a different opinion. But in professional sports, I always laugh when coaches bitch about, they were running up the score.
Fuck you.
They were just beating your ass.
Play better.
You need to play better if you want to complain about running up the score.
Yeah.
So
and
again, Little League, beer league, that's a different story. Professional sports, fucking pick up your pants and go.
Yeah, I think the only way I would get upset is if a team is running up the score on my team, is if they're showboating and if they're gloating. You know what I mean? There's a right way and a wrong way to do it. You give all that effort, but if you're like, riding the broom after you score and it's like 8-0, you're like, oh, fuck off. Game's over.
Right. It's different than men's league, right? Where you got the 20-year-olds coming out against the 50-year-olds and just lighting you up all night. To me, I think it was the refs at that point, I think
They were
felt
terrible.
sorry. The refs were bad,
They were
but
bad.
They were also feeling sorry for Seattle. Like, these guys are getting lit up pretty bad. But then the other side of the coin, they were gonna. Parayko knocks Bennington and spins it.
I know.
They disallow that goal.
I know.
And they're like almost sheepishly like, yeah, it's a good goal.
Right.
We got that wrong.
We really screwed that up. So, and on the Blues goal, they not only took the goal away, but they missed a high stick at the same time. It's like, holy shit, what are you guys looking at?
Yeah.
It's so bad.
Well, I do think it was funny because at first when Bennington, because you see Bennington like come out like telling him like challenge it.
Yeah, he didn't know.
And
yeah.
it was at first I'm like, Benner, come on, man. And then I looked and he's looking the other way. He didn't know it was Parayko.
And
so I don't blame him at all. But like the fact that the referees skated over and they're like, oh yeah, we got goaltender interference on the play. What?
Yeah, I know.
He got knocked in the handle of the stick long after the Seattle players came by.
It was Capo Caco. So now does so they've got Caco and Coco. Do they go get Hakkinen?
Oh, they got to.
Oh,
they should release a rap album together.
You're gonna wreak havoc for the broadcasters.
Kako to Coco, and they're putting Kakinen in.
Put them on this, somehow, some way, put them on the same line, right?
Yep.
Dress the goalie as a that's
just for a preseason game,
right? Sure, right. If the Lightning can play a woman in goal in the preseason against the Blues, you can do anything.
Yep.
That's not very sexist. I didn't mean it that way.
It did.
Yeah, I didn't mean it that way.
That's twice.
I'm sorry. Twice I'm sexist? No, just once.
No, I was the sexist the first time.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
The show has been sexist.
Yes. Bill, now it's your turn. Find something sexist.
All right.
Say.
I'll think about that one.
All
right.
I think people knew what I meant. I'm not a sexist guy, even though it's funny because it's sexist. That's what. Yeah. That's different. That's not being sexist.
Okay.
It's the Daniel Tosh. It's not racist. It's funny because it's racist. You're making fun of racism. It's funny. Okay. Anyway.
All right. This has been fun. Oh my. Yeah, we're getting some bots on Twitch. I guess I should
Twitch
figure out how to fix that.
I'm honestly scared of Twitch. I've never been on it really. I think it seems like I almost want to say Twitch, and this may sound like an old person talking, but I'm like, Twitch is probably run by China, and there's all kinds of
I think it's pronounced Gina.
People trying to China, yeah. What's wrong with China? It rhymes with vagina.
I hope your brother's still watching.
I'm glad you got that reference. That was him from a long time ago. That's fine.
All right. We got trade deadline stuff to talk about, guys. So it's March 7th at 2 p.m. So that is, I should have put the day of the week. Is that a Tuesday?
It
is a Friday.
Friday. So
yeah. So we'll have one more show
day for me.
5 days before I leave for Hawaii.
That's why they scheduled it. They're like, man, we got to make sure Kurt's still in town for this.
Got to get it done before Hawaii so we can talk about anything for a couple days and then we'll go. Yeah.
Yep. So we'll see how that goes. If I have the day off, maybe I'll do something fun.
That's Tuesday. You said yes, it is Tuesday, right?
It's a Friday.
It's a Friday.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, I mean, I'll be working from home, so if I'm not busy that day, maybe I can pay attention more.
Yeah, maybe we can do something fun. Austin and I did a live show at the trade deadline a couple of years ago.
You should do on Discord. We should use Discord or something for some.
We really should.
Some other outlet. Discord is fantastic.
Discord.
You say Discord or Discord?
We've had this discussion like 5 times.
My son.
I say Discord, but I think I'm saying it incorrectly.
I think I say Discord too, and my son went off on me the other day. He goes, "It's Discord."
Yeah,
I'm like, you might be right. You might be right, but I can't change now.
Yeah, that's how I am with
Traverse City.
Just traverse and traverse.
Yep. All right. So trade deadline. Braden Shen is heading to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Apparently.
The Leafs, you say? What?
Yeah. Well, if it's not the Leafs, it's the Golden Knights, right? Because that's the only 2 teams that can ever acquire anyone, according to any reports.
Tired of all the stuff. The Leafs. Tired of it.
So That has been the only time I've seen Shen's name come up, honestly. I've seen it come up from multiple sources that the Maple Leafs are looking for a second-line center. They thought that'd be Max Domi, but that has not worked out. So they would be looking at Shen. It's a weird situation for them because he has a full no-trade clause, first of all. He's got 3 seasons remaining beyond this one at an annual cap hit of $6.5 million. And apparently, which, hey, I'm all for this. Apparently, Doug Armstrong has basically said, if you want Braden Shen, you got to give me a fucking ransom. And I love that.
I did too.
The Blues are not in a situation where they have to trade him. Like, he's been fine. He's your captain. I think he's helped groom some of these younger guys. Groom's not a good word to use anymore for that. But he's helped teach these younger guys.
In the post-David Frost world, yes, we don't use the word groom in hockey.
Oh, man.
But apparently the price tag on Shen is to be significant, potentially requiring the Leafs to put together a package that includes an attractive draft pick, such as their first-round pick in 2026, plus one of their 3 most sought-after prospects in Easton Cowan, Fraser Minton, and Ben Danford, and perhaps Nikita Grebenton, which are all huge prospects for them right now. There would likely be an additional price to be paid as a sweetener to make the money work on Shen's contract. So basically, this is Doug Armstrong saying, if you want this guy, you're going to have to fucking give me everything.
Either a first-round pick in not this year's draft, but next year's draft.
26. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so you got to figure that pick's not going to be a very high pick, projectively speaking, right? It's going to be probably bottom half. Leafs or Leafs, if we acquire it. If you can get a first-round draft pick and a good prospect for Shen, yeah, I love Shen. I love Shen. And I think he's has a fantastic bounce back year from last year. But yeah, I mean, if you can get a first round pick and a good prospect for him, depending on how much, I guess this talks about the Blues eating some money, which the Blues don't typically do. I mean, I wouldn't be against that at all. I don't think, because also the Blues don't have a lot of draft picks the next couple of years. They don't have many at all. Was it no second or third round picks this year and next? Is that right?
Second.
Second
round.
Yeah. So we don't have a lot of top 2 round picks the next 2 years.
Divide by Zero says, besides this first round pick, there's really nothing they have outside of Matthew Nyes that I would want. Don't think they'd part with Nyes, but possibility. I've seen some people floating out that they would trade Mitch Marner since he's a free agent coming up. That makes no sense to me, because if you're acquiring Braden Shen, you're going for the cup this year. So you're not going to move one of your top forwards.
I would be shocked. I'd be shocked if Braden Shen would garner a first-round pick in return.
Real quick, on Marner, too, I'll say that doesn't make any sense for the Blues because he's a free agent. So,
that'd be
taking his salary.
That'd be a sign. That'd be a trade.
That'd have to be a
trade, right?
Trade.
Yeah. It'd have to be. Because there's
I agree.
I
don't think you can get a first-round pick for Shen either, but
if you did
if it's last minute and the Leafs are like, we absolutely got to make a move, I'm all for it. I hope I want Shen to stay here. I love him as the captain, but man, if you can get something to set up Alex Steen even more as the GM, that'd be huge.
Yeah, and he's got 3 remaining on his contract. So it's not like this may be the best year of the rest of his career this season.
Probably.
So if you can get a first-round pick for that, I think you do it in a second. I really do.
Yeah.
Plus a prospect? Oh, I think it's a no-brainer.
I haven't looked at the free agent list outside of Mitch Marner coming up, but maybe if you unload his contract, you have money to go spend in free agency. So maybe you try to fill that role somewhere else. Plus, hopefully you got a guy like Jimmy Snuggerud coming up next year. Dalibor Dvorsky will be ready.
Yeah.
So you got a lot of young guys that are going to be pushing to make the roster next year.
Let's go full NHL 25 and go for the blockbuster, right? Everybody's got to do the blockbuster because Rantanen got traded. And so Binnington and Shen to the Leafs for Marner, Nyes, and Wool. Make it happen.
Let's go. Let's do it.
I'd love to see Joseph Wool here. Honestly, I love Binnington, but seeing a St. Louis boy come in, that'd be
I would
great.
imagine he's gonna try and acquire picks though, right? With our draft pick situation in the next couple of years.
Oh yeah.
He's gonna try and get picks.
Yep.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
I don't blame him.
Or not Armstrong, but it's
young
more
roster players, right?
Yeah, it's more for Steen, right? To
Right.
deal
Yep.
with. So
Yeah, I could see him getting a guy. We mentioned a couple prospect names here, guys that are probably going to be making the NHL jump in the next 2 years. That's who he's targeting, I think, for any trades at the trade deadline. Nick Kyprios, who's a fucking loser.
Piece of shit.
He lists Pavel Buchnevich, Jordan Kyrou, Braden Shen, and Justin Falk as possible trade pieces for the Blues. He says in one of his articles that he posted, Armstrong wants to unload $8 million salary, and while it may be Buchnevich, Jordan Kyrou is out there too, making $8.125 million through 2030-31. Kyrou doesn't have any trade protection yet, but a full no trade clause will be introduced on July 1st. And then despite his age at 33, term at 3 more years at 6.5 and a no trade clause. And I'm sorry, this is on Falk. If the stars align and Armstrong conveniences him to move on to a contender, the Blues GM would want a king's ransom for him. My question to Nick Kyprios is, he's the only one I've seen saying that Armstrong wants to unload $8 million in salary.
Yeah.
What's his source? I have not seen that anywhere else.
So anybody that says that Armstrong's looking to possibly trade Buchnevich, he hasn't even started his new contract yet. So, which he just signed. So I don't. That's always. I don't know of a time that Armstrong has ever done that. Traded a player before his contract even starts that he signed him to, a long-term contract. So which doesn't make any sense to me that you would sign it. Like Buchnevich wanted to be here. They signed him here because there was talk of him possibly being traded before, but they signed him instead. And now he's here long-term, $8 million a year starting next year. And they trade him before then. And he has a modified no trade clause, I believe. Correct? Or is that this year? He has a modified no trade clause this year. I don't know what it is next year.
And then it becomes a full, I believe, next year.
Okay. So, and it's 12 teams right now. No, 20. 20 teams? 10 teams, 20 teams, whatever.
Well, let's check out our friends over at Puckpedia.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. 20-team no trade clause in year 5, then 15 in year 6. But right now, I think he has 12 teams right now. So
12-team no trade list becomes a full no trade list next year.
Right. Yeah, and it's not a modified no trade clause until year 5 of that contract.
Yep.
So I guess if you're going to trade him, you do it now. But it's kind of weird to trade a guy unless the team is really interested and you get a decent amount for him and you move him. I get it. I wouldn't be against trading him because I think he's been largely a big time disappointment this season.
Yes.
And I'm kind of worried about this contract now all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
and I think that's what the speculation is like the fans have buyer's remorse for a contract that hasn't kicked in.
Yeah.
Does Armstrong, right?
Yeah.
That's the question.
Yeah, and I'll say too that I think that I'm with you, Kurt, in what you always say. I'm always for a trade that makes the team better. So if you can move Buchnevich and the team's better because of it, good. Let's do it. My only caveat with this type of situation, as you mentioned, with his new deal really not kicking in yet, that is a bad look for a GM. And that could make some people, let's see, St. Louis and Nashville are offering me the same deal. Nashville wouldn't trade me before my new contract kicks in. I'll go sign them.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah, but he's a lame duck GM at this point, right?
That's
so
true.
What does he care?
That's true.
I'll tell you what too, and I think it only makes him look bad if he doesn't get much for him. I think if he gets a lot for him before his contract kicks in, anytime you can make your team better now and in the future, I think it's fine. It's weird to move a guy that you before his contract even kicks in, but if somebody wants him, they want him, and they want that contract, fine, move him, and you can make your team better, then great. But I think where it would look bad is if you have to take, a lesser amount than you think you can get for him, and all of a sudden it's like, well, why'd you sign him for so much if you didn't get much for him, and you maybe have to eat some contract? Then if you eat contract, that's a bad look. I think if you don't eat contract, then you're probably okay, unless you just dump him for very little. You know what I mean? So
Yep. Well, all right. Next up for the Blues, Thursday, February 27th, they play the Washington Capitals. Are we all in agreement the Blues are going to make the wrong decision and start Joel Hofer, correct?
how many times I go to this well? Where I think the Blues should, where I think the Blues do what I think they should do, not what I think they will do. God. Fuck. Bennington starts tomorrow. He starts.
I mean, all logic.
He should.
Literally,
Tomorrow.
I'm not just saying this because it's my opinion. All logic points to Binnington getting the start because he's been hot. He's your starter. You're playing one of the best teams in the league. You've had a couple days off between games. He just won one of the biggest games of anybody's career. So, of course, they'll go to Hofer. Like all logic points to it should be Binnington, which tells me they're going to go to Hofer.
At this point, okay, so here's where I'm at. If they go with Hofer tomorrow, I have to question, and this is not a knock on Hofer. He could play well and they could win.
100%.
Yeah, but knowing what we know and how your number one has been playing, if they don't start Binnington tomorrow, then you have to question how serious they are about making the playoffs.
So do you have a long enough memory to the 8-goal shellacking that Jordan Binnington suffered at the hands of Washington back in November?
Yeah, I do not remember that.
I do. Unfortunately, that was a rough one.
Yeah.
But still, I don't care.
Right. I mean, he just won Canada.
What's the term, Bill? Past performance doesn't equal. What is that one?
Right. Yeah. The investment disclosures. Past performance does not guarantee future results.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
But
yeah, no, I mean, the one thing that if you're going to play Hofer tomorrow night, it's because Washington is playing so well and you don't want to feed Binnington, like give him the opportunity to get lit up by an obsessed Alex Ovechkin. 13 goals away. 13 goals away.
I'd be more concerned about that. I'd be more concerned about that hitting Hofer than hitting Binnington because Hofer is younger. Binnington's been through adversity. He knows how to get past it.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. So if you go with Binnington, if they break the mold and shock the world and go with Binnington tomorrow against Washington, then they could go with Hofer against the Kings on Saturday.
Which would
make more sense. And then back to Binnington against Dallas on Sunday.
That makes complete sense. That makes perfect sense.
And then you get 2 days off, and you can go roll with Binnington again on Wednesday against the Kings. And then if you wanted to go to Hofer and break the 2-1-2-2 bullshit, then you could play Hofer against the Ducks, and then Binnington again the back-to-back against the Kings on Saturday. That to me makes complete sense. Unless if they go with Hofer tomorrow, it fucks it all up.
Right.
Yep.
So
and that was my logic point too that I wanted to make too that I totally forgot when I was saying all the logical reasons. Yeah. This way it sets up.
Yeah.
It sets up Binnington playing against the Stars on Sunday perfectly.
Because back-to-back games, Saturday, Sunday.
Yep.
It's a no-brainer. Hofer on Saturday, Binnington on Sunday.
So 12 hours from now, I will expect the Slack message from Jeff. Hofer first off the ice. Fuck.
Yeah, because if they do go the 2-1, 2-1, 2-1, they've been all season long, that would mean back-to-back starts for Bennington Saturday and Sunday.
How about the correlation, the fact that they go the 2-1 schedule and they haven't won 3 games in a row?
Yeah, we talked about that a bunch, and it's like, yeah, that could be a reason, right? You can't win 3 in a row because you're not playing your fucking hot goalie 3 games in a row. I don't know, maybe.
Right. And
it's not even that. It's just a matter of
game winning streak.
It's just a matter of consistency. Like Hofer and Bennington play pretty similar games, but if you watch them, and I know Bill, you studied goalies, like you can see there are nuances, there are differences, the way that they play the puck, the way that they cover the puck, the way they make saves in general, it's different. And so teams have to adjust to the way their goalie plays. And if you're constantly changing that for no reason at all. Now, if it's both goalies suck and it's just like, we got to get something,
that's different.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
But that's not the case right now. Right now, Jordan Bennington is playing some of the best hockey we've seen in years. So
and if
you
you
want to go back to him,
if you want to reset it, if you want to reset the whole 2-1-1 thing, you can 2-1-2. You can do it when there's a 4-day break on March 9th through the 12th. You can start it over again on the 13th against the Penguins if you wanted to, and then because they play every other day then for the rest of the month, they don't have back-to-backs. But for this next couple weeks, these stretch of games, it makes no sense to start Hofer tomorrow on Thursday.
Yep.
Against the Caps.
So we're all in agreement. The logical choice is going with Bennington, but they're going to go with Hofer.
Probably.
Yes.
Although, but you know what? I'm gonna. I did this last time, and I said I'm gonna have faith the team's gonna make the right decision, and I'm like I'm gonna go with shock in the world, Bennington tomorrow.
If they do, I might do a little dance right here at my desk.
And I say that with very little confidence, but I'm just like, you know what? Why the fuck not? This is what I think they should do, so I'm gonna say it.
Again, and it's absolutely nothing against Hofer. Hofer is one of my favorite players on the team.
I get it.
It's just right now your starting goalie is Jordan Bennington, and he needs to get as many games in before he loses that hot streak. And if you pull the rug out from under him right now, you are doing a disservice to your entire franchise.
I think so as well.
Well, so we mentioned Thursday, February 27th, Washington. Saturday, March 1st, versus the Los Angeles Kings, who they see 3 times in the next week, by the way.
Yeah.
So get used to seeing the LA Kings.
They're a playoff team right now, so.
Yep. Saturday, March 1st versus the Kings at 7. That's at Enterprise Center. Sunday, they travel to Dallas and play at 5 o'clock. That will kick off their season-high 6-game road trip, which they've got some tough customers coming up. So most are playoff teams. I think all actually might be playoff teams.
Anaheim. Anaheim's in there. They're not.
Anaheim, yeah.
And Pittsburgh's not either.
Yeah, that's right. So, yeah, Sunday they play Dallas, and that is a start of a 6-game road trip. Wednesday, they play at Los Angeles, and that's the late one at 9:30. As far as our next show goes, could be Tuesday, could be a pregame show Wednesday. We'll see. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Here we go. Our friend and sometimes co-host, Vanessa Graff. I expect a trade to happen this weekend, depending on how the team does.
Sunday evening after the Stars game.
Yeah.
Could happen.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah.
If they shit the bed this weekend, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, can you imagine if they traded Shen tomorrow before the game? Hey, it's your 1000th game. Welcome to
somebody else give him that silver stick.
That's an Anaheim Ducks move right there.
Yeah. Oh, we traded you to Anaheim. They had an extra stick laying around.
Right.
Yeah, they had one bought for Fowler.
Why does this say Fowler on it?
It's all scratched out.
Yeah, it's written in a Sharpie, Shen.
That's nice.
All right. Anything else, fellas?
Nah, I don't think so.
As you can probably tell,
time.
I was gonna say, as you can probably tell, my voice is starting to give out. So I think it's time that we end the show. So thank you everybody for tuning in. We haven't had a normal show like this in like a month, right? Because we did our 500th live at Geyer, and then we did 2 pregame shows the last week. So the last 2 weeks.
And I wasn't here last week, so
Yeah, and it was a great show. I mean, best show we've ever had.
Best show ever.
All right, cool. Well, fellas, great show. Thanks to our amazing sponsors, strugglingmike.com and rockinthatidlife.com. That will wrap up episode 14 of season 22 of. Wait a minute, that's not right.
Season 22.
Yeah, that's not right.
Whoa.
Season.
How long have I been asleep?
I know I'm old, but Jesus.
Wow, holy shit.
Episode 22 of season 14
That's
of
better.
the original St. Louis Blues Hockey Podcast, Let's Go Blues Radio. Thanks for listening, and thanks to those who participated in the YouTube and Facebook live chats during the live show. We'll talk with you next week. For Bill Day and Kurt Price, I'm Jeff Ponder, and this was Let's Go Blues Radio. Until next time, everyone, start Bennington. Let's go Blues.
Let's go Benner. Let's go Blues.
For the love of God, start Bennington on Thursday.
Kurt just wants to be right.
Please. I'm tired of being wrong.
The Chiefs are at home tonight against Cyanosport at the War Memorial at 8. Good seats are still available.
A look at sports.
I think that went very well.
Thank you for listening to Let's Go Blues Radio. Now take off, hosers.
I want you to have a heart attack and die so that we never have to do this shit again.
Well, there's 90 minutes of your life you'll never get back. Sorry.
St. Louis Blues, St. Louis Blues. Have you heard the news about our St. Louis Blues? They've only just begun, they're on their way to number one. Now there's no more blues for our St. Louis Blues. The Blues are on the ice tonight again. They're rough and tough and got the stuff to win. They'll always get one more, no matter what the score. They are quite a hockey team, my friend.